Somewhere between your 20s and now, your suitcase changed on you. The list you're still packing was built for someone who could sprint through a layover without any sleep. Now, I've got 15 things that actually replace that list, plus the one item most people never pack that lets you sleep through the night in a bed that isn't yours. Want to sleep like you own the hotel but don't? Then stick around. The summer before last, I flew out to Denver to meet my son for a little golf trip. Checked bag, golf clubs, and a full backpack. I hauled it all through both airports, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Denver International. Now, in my 30s, I wouldn't have given any of that even a second thought. This time, though, by the time we landed, grabbed our stuff, and took a shuttle bus to some rental car lot, I felt every pound of it, and my body noticed. I'd still do that trip again tomorrow. I'd just ship the clubs next time instead of wrestling them through a pair of airports and the shuttle bus nonsense. That's the whole idea behind this episode today. The thing that actually changes a trip after 40 isn't about packing less, it's about packing the right 15 specific things that keep you reachable, oriented, and comfortable everywhere you land. Starting right now. All right, everybody, let's start counting. And item 1 is the bag itself, this little baby, the Osprey Daylight 26+6. It's a 26-liter day pack that expands into 32 liters when you need the extra room on the way home, which happens more than you'd think once souvenirs and duty-free bottles start entering the picture. Now, it weighs about 1.85 pounds, which barely registers once it's on your back. And here's the detail that matters most after 40. And no, it's not the capacity. It's the luggage pass-through sleeve on the back panel. That's the strap that lets the whole bag slide right over your rolling suitcase handle, so it rides along behind you instead of pulling down on one of your shoulders throughout the whole terminal. In all of my traveling experience, it's these little details like that pass-through sleeve that most often get overlooked when you're a 25-year-old hauling around a backpack. Because at 25, you didn't notice the weight yet. Now at 40 or even 50, you start to notice. This bag runs around $100. It's the foundation of today's kit, and it's the bag that's traveling with me to New England next week. Items 2 and 3 are small enough to forget you're even carrying them, and they're both about staying reachable because your phone stopped being just a phone a long time ago. It's running your boarding pass, your hotel key, your translation app, your banking, and every photo from the trip all at the same time, and none of that works if the battery's dead or the plug doesn't fit the wall. Item 2 is the Epica Universal Air Adapter. I've carried this one now for a little while, and it solves exactly one problem completely. The wall socket where you're standing overseas doesn't look anything like the one back home, and this takes care of that. The adapter is probably the least exciting item on this entire list, and also the one that ends a trip the fastest if you forget it. I've done that myself. Don't recommend it. Item number 3 is the Native Union Zebra cable, and we've featured this one before. It's just a charging cable, braided instead of the flimsy kind of plastic that frays after 3 trips. I love it. It's outlasted every cheap cable I've ever packed alongside it. Item 4 is where my own thinking actually shifted over the years, and it's more of a solutions lens than a gear one. I spent years as a merchant watching a single product category, mobile phones, quietly outgrow its original job description. A phone stopped being just a phone a long time ago and started being a wallet, a boarding pass, a map, and a translator. And eventually the accessory built to support that phone had to grow up right alongside it. And that's exactly what happened with the power bank. It went from being a nice to have if your battery happened to run low to something close to a necessity because so much of the actual trip now runs through that one device. Your rideshare, your hotel confirmation, heck, even a photo of the hotel confirmation that you've taken. Item 4 for me is the Anker MagGo Ultra Slim 5K. It's Qi 2 certified for 15-watt wireless charging, and it's got a built-in magnet so that you can just snap it right onto the back of your iPhone, and it's there. There's no cables dangling out of your pocket while it charges. It just rides along attached to the phone itself. 5,000 milliamp hours, thin enough to disappear into your pocket, and it buys me a full day of not thinking about if my battery percentage is dipping at all, which after 40 is worth more than the $50 or so that this item costs. Those last 3 items you can see in a greater detail in one of our episodes on the 3 items that changed how I travel internationally from a couple months back. Once the bag and the power situation is all settled, the next 4 items are about making the trip livable instead of just survivable, and they start with how you pack. For me, item 5 are these packing cubes, and these are from Epica. I've had this set for a little while now, and in my opinion, the value isn't really about saving space, although they can do that too. It's that I'm not living out of one big huge duffel bag where a nice collared shirt tangles up with 3 days of socks and some unmentionables and whatever snack wrappers migrated in from the airport convenience store. Everything gets its own compartment now. 1 cube for socks, 1 for underwear, 1 for light shirts, and 1 that stays completely off limits until laundry day. Repacking at the end of the trip for me also takes takes just minutes instead of having to do mental gymnastics with my clothes spread across some hotel room floor. Item 6 is the Sennheiser Accentum headphones, and item 7 is the turtleneck pillow. And I'm going to group these two together because they solve the same underlying problem in different ways, staying comfortable enough to actually rest on a flight instead of just enduring it. I wear the Sennheisers throughout the entire flight, whether it's long haul or short hops, mostly for the noise canceling feature, not particularly for music. And then the turtle pillow replaced a horseshoe travel pillow I'd used for probably 15 years without ever really questioning it. I used to think that inflatable horseshoe pillows were fine. Yeah, they're not fine. I genuinely don't know how I convinced myself otherwise for over a decade. Now, the turtle wraps around your neck and then actually holds your head at an angle where you can sleep instead of just propping your chin up until it slides away and the second you doze off. It's really great, and it's comfortable. Item 8. The last one in this group is the Pack All luggage scale, and it's the one that nobody really thinks about until they're standing at the check-in counter watching an agent's eyebrows go up. I keep mine clipped to the handle of my suitcase when it's at home, and I weigh the bag or my traveling partner's bag in case we ever need to, let's call it load balance, before I ever leave the house. Every single time, no exceptions. And then, once I'm satisfied, I just toss it into my kit with everything else. It's a small habit, takes about 10 seconds, and it's saved me and my travel partners more than one overweight bag fee standing at that check-in counter. Besides, nobody wants to see you load balancing those unmentionables we mentioned earlier at the airport check-in desk. Ugh. All right, it's time for a quick check-in. Now, if your list looks nothing like it did at the age of 25, well, go hit the like button because you've done all the hard work already. Nice job, overachiever. And if your list hasn't changed at all since then, well, hit the like button for that too down below because you've got some catching up to do. And by all means, hit the subscribe button because you don't want to lose track of a future episode, kind of like the time you lost track of your wallet. Now, speaking of lost wallets, here's the next gadget pairing that keeps yours from going missing, even when you're overseas. This next group is less about comfort and more about not getting stuck somewhere, and it starts with the smallest item on the entire list. Item 9 is the Apple AirTag, and I want to introduce it on its own for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, because the AirTag, which has been on the market for about 5 years now, is a really cool piece of technology. It's a small tracking disc, about the size of a large coin. It runs on a watch battery, and it pairs with your phone to show you exactly where it is on a map. Anywhere Apple's Find My network has coverage, which is by now most of the world. I've had AirTags on every one of my bags for years because, for starters, a checked bag is the one thing on a trip that genuinely disappears out of your control the moment you hand it over to the ticket counter. And your carry-ons? Well, if you happen to leave them behind at a restaurant, in the airport lounge, in a taxi, or on a plane, this device can help you get it back much more quickly. I actually own about 5 of these things, and, well, I just love them. All right, I want to talk about item 10 next, the Live RFID passport holder and wallet. Real leather, RFID blocking so nobody's skimming your credit cards with a scanner in some crowded terminal. And as a kicker, it has a slot built directly into the leather for an AirTag. Yeah, just what I needed was another excuse to buy another AirTag. That's quite the 1-2 punch. You drop the AirTag into that slot, and now this one item that holds your passport, your credit cards, and your cash also is the most important item you can actually locate if it ever goes missing at either a security line or a rental counter. Item 11 is also currently in my recommended kit, and this is the Easy Dose Weekly Pill Planner. I gotta qualify this one because it matters. I don't manage a daily medication routine myself, so I can't speak to this one from years of personal use. What I can tell you is this. I've traveled with people who do, some of them taking maybe 5 or 6 pills and supplements a day, and watching them rely on one of these instead of juggling a half a dozen loose bottles is exactly what convinced me it belongs on this list. One important note before you pack one, if you're crossing an international border, keep your medications in their originally labeled containers, just for customs. The planner itself is for organizing once you've arrived, not for getting through the airport. Item 12, the last in this group, is the cheapest thing on this entire list, and it's one of the things I get the most questions about. For a while, reusable silicone bags were everywhere on everybody's gear lists, and I bought into that trend too. For about a week. I spent a career asking one simple question about almost every product on any shelf. Does the premium that you pay for it actually buy you something real? So I sat down and I ran that math myself, and the silicone bag against the plain Ziploc freezer bag, well, here's the math. The liquid volume allowed in a TSA quart bag is small. The leak risk for the way most people actually pack toiletries is pretty low. And a $15 premium for a problem that barely exists in the first place, that's not value in my book. It's just a nicer looking bag doing the exact same job that this baby's been doing for years. And I've been using these Ziploc freezer bags for a long, long time. And the TSA's own guidance actually names that clear quart size bag directly. nothing fancier required. Save a few bucks. Item 13 is currently in my kit, the 33,000 packable rain jacket. It packs down into its own pouch about the size of a grapefruit. It weighs about half a pound and it's rated to handle an actual downpour, not just some light mist that a regular hood could have handled anyway. It's small enough that there's genuinely no excuse not to bring it along with you, which is exactly the entire point of a packable rain jacket to begin with. It costs you around $35 and it takes up less room in the bag than a folded up t-shirt. Item 14 isn't up for debate at all if you're over the age of 40, and you probably already know where I'm going with this. It's reading glasses. Somewhere in your 40s, your near vision changed on you, whether you were ready for it or not. And for me, that shift was especially noticeable about 12 years after I had LASIK, when suddenly the one thing that used to be completely effortless wasn't anymore. Menus, boarding passes, my phone, the fine print on a rental car agreement, all of it got smaller overnight, or at least that's the way it felt at the time. Now, I carry a pair of Noble reading glasses, and I put those into every single bag that I own, because the version of me at the age of 25 never would have thought to pack them, and the version of me now genuinely can't function at a hotel check-in desk without them. On to item 15, the last one, and it's the one that I promised you at the very start of this video. Sleep changes after the age of 40, and if you've noticed you genuinely can't sleep through the night the way you used to, well, you're probably not imagining things. I used to be able to sleep 10 hours straight as a kid, no problem. Just not even waking up at all. And these days, 6 or 7 hours is a genuinely good night's sleep for me, and I've made peace with that. You add in a snoring travel companion to the mix, or an unfamiliar hotel room with thin walls, or maybe even the occasional middle-of-the-night bathroom break, and getting back to sleep gets a lot harder on the road than it ever is at your own home, in your own bed. Now, at home, I run white noise through an Alexa Dot device most nights without even thinking about it anymore. It's just background. It's very peaceful. But for travel, item 15 is currently in my kit, the Dream Egg Travel Sound Machine. It's got 16 sound options, birds, water, and so forth, a battery that runs on about 1,000 milliamp hours, and it charges via USB-C while it's still actively running. So it doesn't die out on you at 3 in the morning right when you need it the most. If a dedicated sound machine feels a little bit like overkill for the length of your trip, well, just get yourself a nice pair of foam earplugs. It does a lot of the same job for a fraction of the size, a little less cost, and none of the setup. Pack it or not, hey, that's your call, but either way, that's how you actually get to sleep like you own the place, even when you don't. Here's the little trick that actually makes a list like this one work. Don't wait until the night before a trip to gather it all up. Just pick one shelf or one drawer near your suitcase and build a standing kit there. The adapter, the cable, maybe the neck pillow, the pill planner, all 15 items, so it lives in that spot permanently, ready to go the moment a trip gets booked. That's exactly what's sitting by my suitcase right now, ahead of my trip to New England next week. Now, every item from today's list is linked down below if you want the exact ones that I used to build out this kit. Let me ask this, what's the one thing on this list that you already own but somehow always forget to pack? Drop it in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you always forget to pack. And if building a standing kit like this one sounds like your kind of move, you'll like our episode over here on the 7 things most travelers get wrong before departure. It's got the same instincts, it's just applied to planning instead of gear. And it's just as easy to fix too. And that, my friends, is better latitude. We'll see you over there.